Alright, YouTube, so I think today we're going to talk about the 11 Satanic Rules, or the 11 Satanic Rules of the Earth Explained. I'm going to read them off, and I think this is actually advice anyone can heed by. Not many people will understand this because some people lack rationality and critical thinking. But I feel most people are able to cling on to this. I think a Christian could adopt these without even having to be a Satanist. I mean, you probably do it in your everyday life anyway. Number 1. Do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. Basically, what this means is don't give a suggestion to someone on their life and what to do, because that person may screw up their life and blame it on you. So when I don't open advice up unless it's someone that I know really well and it's not something too serious. So, like, if one of my best friends comes up to me, is like, what do I do? And it's not something that could, cause great damage to his life socially or physically, and he doesn't even have to ask me. I would probably just give advice like, you probably shouldn't get drunk and drive home tonight. But if I am asked and it's either a good friend or not in the threshold of like good friend, but maybe more than acquaintances, but less than friends, kind of that gray area, I always have to preface it by saying, I can't tell you what to do, or I don't know what you feel would be the best course of action, or I can't tell you how to live your life, because in that case, I'm basically giving them a disclaimer right away that I am not you. I don't know what is best for you. Live your life as you will. If you want me to give a suggestion, I will, but you have to ask. And I will reiterate that I can't tell you what to do. Number 2. Do not tell your troubles to others unless you are sure they want to hear them. This one's kind of self-explanatory. You don't want to say hi to someone and then they start pouring about how bad or miserable their life is. It's going to make you a less desirable person overall. You might lose friends, and you'll probably most likely be labeled melodramatic, overdramatic, or very self-centered. Now, if you're invited into it by saying, well, if someone says, well, how are you doing? Are you doing okay? You don't seem real well, or what's up? Then by all means, you have been given the go to essentially state either how good or how shitty your life is at the moment. 3. When in another's lair, show him respect, or else do not go there. This is pretty self-explanatory as well. If I go into a liberal's house and start talking about, oh, your ideology is all screwed up and you're stupid, I'm just either A, going to open myself to physical confrontation, or B, going to totally ruin an otherwise good relationship with someone. So, be respectful of the household, essentially. Unless, again, going back to rule number 1, do not give opinions or advice unless you are asked. Which means they would be openly engaging you in a debate, essentially. But don't go to some other house that holds a different belief system and tell them they're wrong, because that makes you look like a jackass. If a guest in your lair annoys you, this is number 4, by the way. If a guest in your lair annoys you, treat him cruelly and without mercy. This isn't to say you should start curb stomping him on the head on the ledge of your chimney or something, but if someone is being rude or is being annoying in your house, you have every mean to basically treat him like a jackass in more of a social and intellectual sense. If it's to the point, it would probably be permissible that you could restrain him or her if the person is being overly aggressive in a physical sense, but most of the time that isn't really necessary. Number 5. Do not make sexual advances unless you are given the mating signal. Basically, and I don't think that Anton LaVey meant don't hit on people. Of course, how is someone going to get laid or possibly have the best relationship in their life if they didn't flirt or engage in pre-relationship behaviors, getting to know someone and such. I think this means if you're on someone's neck and you're pressuring them and they're saying no, no means no. That's an obvious sign that they don't want to partake in any sexual acts with you. So don't, do something that would land you in a court case of sexual harassment or a rape trial. Number 6. Do not take that which does not belong to you unless it is a burden to the other person and he cries out to be relieved. Basically, don't steal shit and don't take things without the permission of the person. That's essentially what it means. Don't engage in thievery. If a person wants to get rid of it, they will probably voice that request. 7. Acknowledge the power of magic if you have employed it successfully to obtain your desires. If you deny the power of magic after having called upon it with success, you will lose all you have obtained. Number 7 basically is explaining for magic and ritual magic or psychological magic to work, you must truly believe it works. You can't try to do a destruction ritual on someone who's pissing you off and you're half skeptical about it and it doesn't work and you call it bullshit. You must go into it with the notion that it will work. 8. Do not complain about anything to which you need not subject yourself. Basically, if it doesn't involve you, why are you bitching about it? 9 is very self-explanatory and flies in the face of all Christian propaganda against Satanism and other cults. Do not harm little children. I won't explain that one because it's plain in writing and needs no further explanation, really. 10. Do not kill non-human animals unless you are attacked or for your food. Which basically means don't go in the safari and shoot a lion if you're only going to have it taxidermied, because most likely you're not going to use this animal for food, or you're not even being charitable and giving the meat away. And it's okay if, say, you are going on your married way and a coyote's ripping at your arm, you have every right to attack you because it's disrupting you from potentially living the rest of your life. 11. When walking in open territory, bother no one. If someone bothers you, ask him to stop. If he does not stop, destroy him. Destroy him means in a social sense, or possibly in a physical sense. You know, some guy's annoying you, and you're asking, basically giving him warning signs, please leave me alone. You have every right to turn around and knock the guy the hell out. So basically, walking in open territory, bother no one. People on YouTube know me as someone who talks about current events, my opinions, my predictions, and basically being a critic of Christianity. I'm not going to be on the corner in some place like Chicago with a megaphone talking about how Christianity is wrong and everybody needs to understand it. You're going to be a hindrance to other people in the area, and once again, you're going to look like a jackass. So, basically, it just means go on your married way. Don't bother anyone. Unless you are bothered, you have basically every right. First, you should probably say, hey, could you please leave me alone? If that does not work, either start yelling at him or punch him out. That's basically it. This is the 11 Satanic Rules of the Earth by Anton LaVey, and I know it's LaVey Satanism, but I think a lot of people would be able to heed from this advice. And, that's about it, YouTube. Peace out. This has been Mueller Man. Subscribe and have a wonderful night.